Hello everybody, Mr. Avmatic here, your Mbl analyst, back with another week of analysis for these plays and these games. Today I am with my fellow analyst, JPurowitz.
What's going on, everybody? JPurowitz here.
Yep, and we have two games here, the semifinals, Team We Disney versus We Dreamball, and we have Team Not Scald versus Team Cyberbaz. Let's get started with the strangest of the two games, Team We Disney versus Team Dreamball. What were your first impressions when you saw this battle?
At first there was a good number of question marks, but then everything ended up making a little bit of sense when you really thought about it and really delved into why everybody did what kind of play. I mean, role play Lando into Fissure, it makes a lot of sense, and then there's a lot of SmackDown usage, and then like, what is going on here? And then all of a sudden you see the Trick Room Skydrop tactic, Dreamball, and you're just like, okay, which one is actually going to prevail? And in the end, it was the Trick Room usage from Dreamball. I mean, they've been using Trick Room stellar all season. Like, the entire season, they've been using it incredibly well, but particularly in this match, as they completely nullified multiple turns for We Disney's Mons, like the Champ and Lantern.
It's almost like they took a page out of We Disney's book from last week, and they said, you guys used Skydrop all game? We're going to use Skydrop all game, and we're going to mess with you. And it ended up working, despite the primary, We Disney's primary offensive threat, or the threat they're trying to make the main threat, Lander's Eye, I'm sorry. Lander's Eye, it ended up working on Lander's Eye because it took him out of commission throughout the battle. Like, the turns where they would Skydrop and then Trick Room, it made it so Landers couldn't do anything because it changed his speed. And it was just like, what the heck? How did they come to this conclusion? Because I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah, you got me there too. I mean, not just that, but they knew how to play around the fissures. Like, they knew when to protect, they knew when to switch, as well as using Electivire to follow Misak to protect the Heatran. And speaking of the Heatran, switching in and eating the Twinkle Tackle was a huge play, since it pretty much took away the Z move from that side of the field. Yeah,
they did not want Team We Disney to have any leverage at all. Going to We Disney's tactic in general, like, I figured out what they were doing after roleplay. I was like, wait, because they hinted, when they were recording the video, they made it seem like they didn't want to give too much away, even though they were just recording it and it was going to be seen in post. But they're waiting for the build up, and it didn't happen, and I felt their disappointment, and I was like, SmackDown, what? SmackDown?
Yeah.
And then roleplay, I'm like, got it. They're trying to one-hit KO everything.
Yep. And I really wish that turn 3 play would have gone off. I mean, when we were recording the recap, Juan and I did a test to see whether or not that was actually going to work. And it turns out it did. It would have actually gone through, and it would have actually OHKO'd the Zapdos. So it would have been really interesting to see how both of the teams, how that match would have differed if that play had went through.
Yeah, and that disconnect, I talked to Duncan about the match, and I asked him, because the number one question I had, like, why didn't y'all use Gravity? Gravity would have ensured, and I know, like, it was hard to catch the Bronzong deal, and that's a whole nother thing, but, like, Gravity just ensures everything's touching the ground for 5 turns. And I kind of got where he was coming from. You can't keep Gravity up every single turn of the match, but 5 turns is, in Pokemon's case, is 4 Pokemon if you can execute it the right way. So that's just my, like, I love Gravity. Gravity is one of my favorite attacks. It's one of my favorite strategies. So I saw what they were going for, and it sucked that it didn't work, even though it wasn't the actual move Gravity. It was playing off of that idea. I just wish it had worked, and I'm sure We Disney wish it had worked too.
Yeah, and to go along with the Bronzong, to make an edit actually from what I said in the recap, I accidentally said that it was heat proof. I had thought that Bronzong's other ability was light metal, but it's actually heavy metal. And heavy metal makes it so Skydrop actually would not have been able to work on Bronzong. So if they decided
too heavy,
exactly, yeah.
Okay, I really thought it was heat proof. I forgot Bronzong had a third ability.
Yeah.
I had completely forgot it had a third ability. Heavy metal, and again, they're taking into precaution last week's plays. The Skydrop abuse was rampant, so heavy metal Bronzong would help a lot. It keeps Bronzong on the field, able to mess with the opponent, trick room away, and it worked out in Dream Ball's favor. I think, like I said, I don't. And one thing, again, I talked to Duncan about this. One thing is that DC made them, as he put in the video, the DC made them rethink stuff. And he was saying, had they not rethunk what they were going to do, they would have been in a much better position. They changed their play, which means that they went into what Team Dream Ball wanted them, or more in favor of them. And they're trying to get into a certain place, and Dream Ball basically took advantage of the disconnect. Or their change in play. That's what I was trying to say. But, yeah, just so many things that played into. It was just a strange match. It was by far We Disney's strangest attempt at playing in the whole season.
And I also like how Dream Ball was able to use the sunny day turns to their advantage, and it actually, the sunny day disappeared pretty much when the Magmortar hit the field. I think it might have been on for only one turn when the Magmortar was there, but for the other 4 turns, they were able to keep the Lantern at bay, and they were able to set up the sunny day and make sure that Heatran and whatever they needed to use was able to use it properly, as opposed to being taken advantage of from the Magmortar standpoint.
Yeah, that definitely affected what they tried to do as far as comeback on We Disney side. It's just unfortunate that some of my favorite strategy couldn't have prevailed, but what can you do? You know, that strategy is also very delicate. It's like once you mess it up, you can't do anything really. The one Fisher they did get off on Electivire, I mean, it was just like, well, we can kill this thing. Can at least find solace in the fact that we can use Fissure for one turn, you know.
Yeah.
But overall, it wasn't We Disney's best presentation, but they made it to the semifinals, and you know, 4th place. Well, not 4th place, but you know, top 4. That's pretty high standing. They still get to keep their team name and matchup. So,
yeah, I'm looking forward to what they can do next season.
Yeah. On to the next game with Not Scald and Cyberbaz. This game right here, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, I have a feeling this game's going to be short. It's going to be concise. Everything is going to happen to how everybody wants it. Unfortunately, there does have to be a loser in the situation. Or I shouldn't say everybody wants it, because if everybody wanted what happened in that game, both sides would have won. And that's not possible.
Yeah.
So everything happened the way that 4 pro players can come together and predict it happening. If this happens, then this outcome occurs. If this happens, then this outcome occurs. It's a very straightforward battle, especially compared to its counterpart battle this week.
Yeah, and I really like how Not Scald is using hazards, because hazards is a very underrated thing, especially in doubles play.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, the Stealth Rocks put in so much work. Not just because of it did 50% to Volcarona or 25% to the Aerodactyl, but because they know Cyberbaz has pretty much only run Focus Sash Breloom. And because of that, because of the Rock Fin, Breloom comes in, it can no longer live a turn freely and go for what it wants. It comes in, and then it's susceptible to dying in turn 1, like it did to the Poison Jab from the Drapion.
Yeah. Stealth Rocks, I won't say that. I was thinking Stealth Rocks was the game winner, but it wasn't. It was a big part of it, because
I'd say the game winner was around the Cradilly turn, when they were able to the fast Cradilly sludge bombing into the Azu, being able to take that threat out, and also just completely taking them off guard, because they had to replay it so many times, because of the DCs, and they didn't give away the entire time that none of those rolls were necessary because Cradilly outsped Azu.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know they had DCs as well.
But, they had like 2 or 3 DCs in the match.
Man, that's these DCs in the playoffs, man. It's like some divine will's trying to prevent playoffs from happening. But we're at the final. We're at the final week, so you can't stop us. But though the thing that got me is Not Scald prevented one sweep in the beginning of the game, stopped another altogether by killing off Volcarona the way they did, and then you stop the Breloom from even cleaning up by breaking its sash, for doing something all the way back in turn one. It's just, it was so elaborate. It's like they went into this game knowing what kind of losses that they were going to take on their team, matchup, and they just went in. And same with Cyberbass. The only thing with Cyberbass is they didn't expect certain stuff. They didn't expect Sludge Bomb Cradilly. I'm tempted to say they didn't entirely expect Stealth Rocks, because they may have expected the toxic spikes more than the Stealth Rocks. But
I don't even think they expected Scarf Arcanine, because especially Scarf Intimidate Arcanine with how they've been using Arcanine in the past.
Yeah, me neither. They've been using bulky Arcanine, still offensive but very tanky Arcanine, and to switch that up entirely almost to make it fast and lethal, that really puts more pressure on a team that's used to one thing. And again, going back to like hazards, Team Cyberbass are a duo of VGC players, top cut VGC players, might I add. And it kind of goes back to the whole thing where the worlds of singles players and VGC's players, there are things that you don't see, so therefore there are things you may not entirely prepare for. Not that in the NBL, I don't see people trying to prepare for hazards in the future, because hazards are such a niche in the NBL and in doubles format that you can't just pack rapid spin. All four of your moves need to count at all times. So it's just, in situations where it's like, well, rocks are on the field, spikes are on the field, you can't do anything. You can't stop the fact that you're taking 12% at least, really anywhere from 6% to 50%, depending on the Pokemon. You're taking damage each time you switch out.
Yeah, and it's definitely something that a lot of these teams have had to even think. Like, they probably didn't even think of it, but there's a lot of the singles players, like you were saying, that they keep that in mind because it's such a very common thing. Immediately, boom, singles, turn 1 rocks, or boom, turn 3 rocks, or always pack that spinner or defogger to get rid of it. It doesn't come up much, if at all, in doubles. So being able to actually utilize these hazards in the way that they have when it came to Toxic Spikes in the first game and Stealth Rocks in the second game here, I'm looking forward to see if they either continue using that in the finals or if they bring something entirely new and completely switch things up that maybe Dream Ball might not even see coming.
Yeah, maybe both hazards. Maybe Toxic Spikes. Maybe just hazard overload. Try to get as many hazards out on the field as possible. Try shutting down Tapu Fini and things like that in the final. But, like there's not too much to say other than, both teams really put everything they had into these battles. And just because this battle was so, another thing I didn't expect, not that it like paid off super well, but it was there in the back in case it, Malium Z Suicune. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, that is true.
Because I'm like, oh, it's probably going for a support move. Like, there's probably some added benefit to Z Roar. I don't know about it. I don't know. And you see Breakneck Blitz is like, wait, you were packing Hyper Beam the whole time, or Hyper Voice, or whatever you were packing.
To it was Hyper Beam.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
that's a strong Breakneck Blitz.
imagine what that was supposed to be for. Like, that's in my head. It's like, what was that supposed to be for? I can only imagine. Maybe for like Azu if it tried to sweep, but they already took out Azu. And it's just the number of things that both teams could have thought of.
Because in the first match they had gotten they used Hydro Vortex Suicune, and that helped take out the Volcarona. So I think they were trying to play off of that.
I remember that.
And so I think to play off of that portion, saying, oh, it's another Z move. Maybe it's hard to break.
Oh no, he cut out.
Oh. Yeah, so basically what I said was, yeah, since they brought Hydro Vortex the first time, it was, oh, wait a minute. Now they see, oh, Breakneck Blix. Oh, what do we do now?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, like just two, or I keep saying two matches. Two teams just came with all the heat they could, and Nascald came out victorious. I can't wait to see what happens in this final match of the season. The Super Bowl, the championship match. It's just gonna be so. You got two of the most creative teams in the final round.
Yeah, I'm so hyped for this match.
I want that match to go like 100 turns, just so I can see some crazy. We have Normalium, Calm Mind, HP Grass, Suicune with a shiny on. I don't know. It's just some stupid nonsense. Something that's gonna blow my mind beyond measure.
Bring that relaxed Suicune event with extreme speed.
Yeah, 48 EVs and Spadef to live the grass. I don't know. I don't know, man. But yeah, that. Anything else to add to either one of those battles?
No, that's really it. I think we covered a lot of it, and I'm really looking forward to what the rest of this playoff has to offer.
Yeah, man, the finals. I'm looking forward to it. Well, that's it for us. I've been Mr. Avematic.
And this has been Witz.
And we'll see you in the finals. Peace.
Have a good one. Enjoy.